So, hey guys, I'm going to be doing your review for you. So, Brian, I requested this game because you're one of my students. And then, interestingly, your opponent, Shadow Conservatory, is one of my first bus ride opponents. So, I had to look it up. Actually, it was bus ride number 5. So, we have somebody who's done a bus ride video, and we have my students. And so, I wanted to take a look at this game. I've not gone through this game yet at all. I saw that Brian won, but other than that, I have not seen anything. So I'm just going to go through and explain what I see. I've got my Strugglebus basic rules on the side. You guys know at this point that I typically go through that, and then we'll get into the middle game and see how it is. I will be reviewing for both players here. Okay, so black immediately encloses. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with this. The only issue here is when we play these two stones, typically that means we want to extend this way. And so doing this early means that white can go immediately take this corner. Does white take that corner? White does not. And that's fine. This is a minor thing, but this is what black wanted. So in this situation, if I'm playing white, I'm just going to take this corner away. And if black wants to take this, it's just a little more awkward than it would have been before, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay, white plays here. This is where I would have played, so that's fine. We can also extend off of the 3-4 stones. Typically extending off of the 3-4 stones is larger, so we could look at something like this, but as white, this, I would likely play this. Backing off, I'm not sure I would do this. It's fine, it's okay. It allows black to kick, which will overconcentrate us a little bit, not too much. This isn't too bad. But this is a situation where if you know this Joseki and you know the tricks with it, then we can attach and force black to do this thing, and this is okay, right? We can do this variation, or you can just do the simple variation and slide, right? And black can Tanuki here because black's going to have Mii between C3 and C9. But this stuff doesn't matter too much. This, in terms of mistakes, it's tiny, maybe like half a point. It's really not that big of a deal. So anyway, so black pincers. So white needs to slide into the corner now. And white Tanukis. I would really consider this at this point in time, because black is pressuring these two stones. So if we play away and I'm not sure if black would kick. Black could play something like d2 or e3, right? And so now with the L3 stone, things can get really cramped here. Or even something like this. You can see how this group is going to struggle to get anything meaningful from. Like, it's not going to die, right? We're not talking about dead stones here. But you can see that it's going to get cramped, it's going to struggle, and while that happens, black's going to be developing a nice big corner and a nice big corner over here. So I'm not sure I would have Tanuki'd here. I would have I think I would have slid into the corner, but that's fine. So we Tanuki. Where's black play? Black plays here. An odd approach. It's fine to approach that. I already went over that. I would have gone after the two stones on the bottom. But if we're going to approach, just take the typical approach. There's a reason that this is the approach. It puts more pressure on the stone. When we play here, white can just ignore this, right? So white could come back and play this, and if we do the double approach, this stone being further away, just it puts less pressure on this group. So it's not going to be as problematic as it normally would be for white. So white plays here. Seems like a fine response, honestly. It seems fine. I probably would have just played the knight's move, but this seems reasonable. Seems reasonable to me. And then black plays a 4th line move. I'm probably going to Tanuki this as white. This is a situation where, so for black, I probably just would have played a little closer. Though this seems, if we want to play a dynamic play style, keeping things a little light, this seems okay. But this is a tough situation to do this with. White has a strong group in the corner and a strong group in the corner, so we need to be a little careful. As white, I wouldn't know how to attack this group yet, so I would just play the game, and then if we can figure out how to attack it later, we would attack it later. But let's see where we play. So this is a fine move. This seems nice and reasonable. I like this. I like this move as black. I like it. It's going to keep white low. It's going to help build off of this, potentially give strength for this. I like this. I think this is a fine move. For white, I think we need to look at this from a direction of play standpoint, which is, when we're done with our exchanges here, where's going to be the important part of the board? And I think it's pretty clear to see that the important part of the board is going to be over here, right? This is the interesting part of the board. Um, and so, from a direction of play standpoint, that means we want stones going in the direction of the important part, right? So, we've got some interesting stuff on the right hand side, the bottom right hand corner. That's the interesting direction. So, we want our stones to go in that direction. So, because of that, I would want to play this. Okay. And then black would extend, white would extend, and maybe black would jump. And this seems reasonable for both players. I think both players would have a fine position here. But by doing this, first of all, it's over concentrated, right, with these three stones. But then it also lets black get, the first move over here. Maybe this normally isn't great shape, this diagonal with two stones here, but it seems reasonable here, and black gets a stone in the direction that's interesting. So black plays here, which is okay, but it lets white get the Hane at the head of two. On either side, I would play this as white, and this is where white played. So here, right, if this stone was here, this seems better for black, because now there's no cut here. As where this, if black Hanes, white can take this cut immediately, and it gets awkward for black, right? And so because of that, black has to do this, which is fine. This is a fine move. And this seems like a fine result for black, again, because white missed the opportunity to take the stone in that direction. Here, white's nice and strong. I would consider playing over here. Maybe follow what black did with the sharp move and play a shoulder here. But let's see where white plays. This is risky. This is a risky move. Because I've already mentioned that these two stones aren't the strongest right now. So if you wanted to do a move like this, and unfortunately, I really do think you need to probably set this up first. Make sure the group is okay before you go and do the wacky things. Not that this is wacky. I like this move, right? Like, the cap is a strong move. The issue is it's inviting black to play this, and when black plays this, it does even more damage to this group. And so now white has to figure out, do I want to protect the A stone or the B group? Because if we let black get another move on this group, it's going to be really painful. But now if we do this move, this isn't Sente against black, and now this stone is just feels very out of place, right? So we need to be a little careful about that. But we tricked black. Black did not play the aggressive move. Black came back and played a little too timidly, getting a good corner. But I think black should have been a little more aggressive and called white out on this shape. Okay, so black pulls back here, and then white attaches. I don't like the attachment. So if we're playing this, I have to assume if you're playing against this group, you're considering this group to be weak. And if you're considering the group to be weak, you can't attach to it. Just like we can't attach to weak stones, we've got the rule over on the side there. Just like we can't attach to weak stones, we can't attach to weak groups, okay? And so this would be the type of move, if we already had a stone here, then I'd be on board with it, right? Because you are playing this to force black to get strong, to get strength for yourself. I'm on board with that. But this is just a single stone by itself. You're going to force black to get strong here. If you wanted to pressure this group, typically you want to do it from farther away. I would probably just consider this, right? And now if black wants to attach to your weakish stone, now you can do this to get strength for your stone. Okay, and it's going to break up the whole side. But this, it just seems a little off. As black, we've got two options. We can Hane, we can extend. These are probably the only things I would consider. Or this good shape move too. I lied. This is absolutely playable. Absolutely playable. Okay. Tari that stone. Okay, that's fine too. I guess black is strong enough, right? Because white can't really do anything here, right? So if black does play over here, like this isn't going to work for white, right? Black is fine here. So this is a bold move. I like it. I like this move. I'm not sure I would have played it, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I like this move. I like the pincer. I think this will work out well for black. So white attaches. I think we need to Hane here. So when we played this stone, we were kind of saying that these 4 stones are okay as is. If they weren't okay as is, we can't play this, right? Because white can play a move like this, keep you separated. But we're still okay, right? Like this is totally like this is as fine as it gets. Black is perfectly okay here, right? So by playing here, you're saying these 4 stones, they are okay as is. So when white played here, you have to be consistent with that and go, these are okay. This is, this is reasonable, but I think there is more potential over here. I think there's more potential on this side. And so that is why I would have looked at this Hane. Because these 3 stones, not strong, right? White can bamboo. White might be able to Hane here, at which point we could connect. But like we aren't afraid of this because we're going to be able to get out of this just fine. We're going to be okay here. With all that said, connecting underneath seems okay. It lets white get this Hane, right, which is going to break into here or just extends, which is what white did, which is going to break into the larger area. And so that's okay. I probably would have pushed one more time because of I don't want to get Hane to the head of 3. Because jumping out and then letting black get this, which black did correctly play. Good job, black. It lets, we're building up a lot of points here. But this is going to be a pretty dynamic game, right? White has not full points here yet, but a fairly, potential big corner there, a reasonable corner here. But black's got a lot here. Black's got a liability here. This is an interesting game so far. This is an interesting game. I want to see how this goes. White Hanes, black should double Hane here. Okay, I mentioned I mentioned a lot when we look at Hane at the head of 2 and Hane at the head of 3. One of the big strengths of it is that we get the double Hane. The reason that is strong is it turns on this cut. Okay, and yes, there are cuts here as well, but black's already strong here, so black doesn't care about these cuts, as where white's going to care if black gets on the outside. So black should heavily consider the double Hane here, just to keep white compressed and expand black's territory out. Doing this just it's not getting as much as black could. It's not Sente. White can Tanuki now, as where this I don't think white would be able to Tanuki from this. Did white Tanuki from this? White did Tanuki from this and played in a really important area on the board. So big move for white. Big move for white. I don't think I disagree with responding to this. And the iron pillar is okay. I probably would have done the extension, but this seems safe enough. This is fine. This is fine in the grand scheme of things. White should jump. Just make the area a little bigger. Threaten to press in here. This is just a little slow moving. Black plays here. I like that. White plays here. Yep. That's tough. Yeah, I mean this is tough, right? Black played this big extension early, and this is tough to respond to because white has strength on the left side. And we could look at this. But then we potentially got this, which kind of sucks, right? That's hard to deal with. So this is just it's tricky. This is a tricky move, but doing this kind of gives up the G17 stone, and I think it's too big to give up. Black jumps out. I would jump out as white. I think that's where I would have played. And then black plays here. How do I feel about this move? Um, I don't like it. The reason I don't like it is so we have an option here. So okay, so this group is already alive, right? So really we care about this group. This is the group that we care about. And so we've got two options for this group. Option one is we can run out and try to get something here, or option two is we can go and connect. And both, both have their shortcomings because if we run out here, white is going to be more than happy to keep on chasing this group while white develops a large left side. So maybe black does just need to cut their losses and play this. So I take it back. Maybe I'm fine with this move, right? Because we can't let white be getting these moves in sente. And then white plays here. So this is small, right? A little too early for a second line move. And also if we play something over here, black playing this, you can play this because black can't cut. It'll lose J18. So all black can do is play this Hane, you Hane, they connect, you connect, and everything's fine. And we still got C8, right? Which is a fairly large move on this board. Playing this, now black can get something like C11. Where did black play? Black played here. I don't think we need this, right? We already played O14. So we already played the move to look to connect here. And again, so now we definitely have the option of being able to run out or being able to connect, right? So I wouldn't do anything over here. I would go press this and go that way. Or if you want to get ballsy, you could try something like this. But yeah, this 100% Gote, and now white plays C8. D7, okay, similar. So white's looking to get influence. Okay, that's reasonable. I think this was bigger. I think the side is still open. The side's bigger than the center. This is also kind of influence in its own way. But it's like, excuse me, if black comes out this way, we can just block and turn this into territory, and that's fine too. So I think that would have been bigger, but at least we played in the right area. Black should probably just push at C7. Black does. White should push at D8. White does. Black should play B9 or push. Okay, that's fine. And now black should definitely sneaky. And black does. And black finally takes this cut. I think all these sequences are fine. I think the last 6 moves or so have been totally reasonable. Does white know the shape? White does know the shape. Nice move. It's because I showed him. I probably showed him this shape. Brian, have I showed you the shape? I don't know. So typically with this elephant eye, right, where white has the 2 diagonal jump, and then black pushes through, we typically consider the knight's moves off of these 2 stones. So either H5 or J6. White chose H5. I think that's perfectly fine. But the other side of it is we need to here. Part of the elephant eye is you are willing to give up one of these 2 stones. Okay, that's kind of the intent of this. I know you played this like 20 moves ago, but what we have in front of us, we have to acknowledge that it's this shape, right? Typically with this shape, you have to be willing to give up one of these stones. Okay, and so with you playing the knight's move over here, you're saying I care about J3, which I agree with, by the way. But now we have to Hane, and if black takes this, whatever. Okay, let black get that stone and be done with it. Look at this influence. Look at this huge territory, this huge moyo that white is threatening right now, just at the cost of giving up L5. But by doing this, you let black push into what could have been a very big moyo of yours, right? And so now, black's just going to ooze in, right? And so we can compare this to here, right, where white gets one move. So I guess we have to compare it to this, okay? And so when we look at this, like, yeah, you're threatening a good moyo here, but nowhere near as big as this moyo, and all you needed to do was give up L5 to do that, okay? So anyway, so we go on. White's threatening big moyo, and black's gonna say, yes, you can have that big moyo, and I don't think we can let white get that big moyo. It's too big. It's too big, right? Because white has this corner. And black's corner is quite big, but it's no bigger than this corner. And then so really all white has to do is make sure that this Moyo is larger than black's corner here, which it obviously is. So I think this was a little misplaced. I think black is behind this game, and I think you need to do something aggressive here. And I would be looking at all of these fourth line stones and going, I should be able to invade here. And this is a situation where I think if you don't invade this, you're going to end up losing the game, because we can't let white get an entire quadrant of the board, which is what this is right now. That's an entire quadrant. There's no way we're going to be able to beat that. So we have to go and invade. Where do we exactly invade? It's tricky, right? We can consider lots of areas though. Let me take these off, and so we can mark. We can consider B16. We can consider B13. We can consider any of the attachments. We could probably consider any of these moves. I would probably consider like any of these. Which one's best? No idea. Right? There's too many variations, but I would definitely be doing something in here to invade. So let me give a little more helpful advice. Where would I start? I would probably start just by attaching to the center stone. Often you want to the stone that holds everything together, just go attach to it. And if they hane, just cross cut and see what happens. Because it's gonna be tricky for white here, because we are happy with either side of this living. If white plays here and then this happens, we are okay with this, right? I think we can even take this Atari. I think black would be totally happy with this, right? This is a good reduction. And if white went the other way and did this, I think same thing. We could look at something like this. If we get anything to live in the corner, it's going to be helpful. Maybe we can turn on the Aji from G17. This is all complicated though. I have no idea how this is going to go, because it depends on where your opponent plays. It depends on where you play. But we need to do something here, anything. Okay. But doing this, I think, is a miss. It lets white get a big move like C9. Did you play C9? Oh my God, you played C9. Okay. Hey, it lets white play a big move. Brian, nice move. Nice move. Okay. And then black goes in here, but white can. I don't know. I can say white can just block this, but can white just block this? I don't know. This looks a little. I guess we're okay. But can we go here? If white did that, I don't know. This is gonna get tricky. I like this. This is another good option for black. If white played here. Well, I think black has to continue coming in, right? Do you go big and play H11? Do you go safe and play J11? Where do we play? Oh, that's bold. That's a bold move right there. This is the type of move where you better be sure that this stone lives, because giving white this for free is not good. So this is great if we can get something from this. But that's not it. Unfortunately. So white, did you sacrifice the stone? Did you sacrifice P7 for the cause? You did. Good. I think I would just turn here. We are not concerned about this. Black can take those two stones, and then we can look at something like this. I'm sure if I turned on score estimator, let's see what score estimator says. I'm sure it's going to say that white's way up. White's up by 21 points. This is too big. We can give this up, and it's okay. Which I think you were mostly on, but we need to be a little concerned about this. Because we obviously can't do this. This doesn't look good for us. But maybe it's okay. I don't know. It doesn't look good. Anyway, what happened? Black with the power triangle, or the empty triangle. Remember, if you play it, it's the power triangle. If your opponent plays it, it's the empty triangle. But yeah, this is going after just this one stone. White does not care about that stone at all. So here, I definitely would have pushed up, try to get as much as you can here. Because white doesn't have the time to do this, because then you just push through and it all dies. So this was a little unfortunate. This is probably the last. This was probably like the last chance black had to do something here. Yeah. Does white block here or connect here? I don't know. White connects. That's fine. That's fine. And now we just block here, right? Right? Yep, that's fine too. I mean, that's a choice. Not one I'd make. But that's a choice, I guess. So, were we not worried about this? This looks really problematic. What does white do here? You're completely surrounded. This looks problematic. If nothing else, even if this doesn't work, black can do something like this, which really threatens this cut. It's like now white has to fix this immediately, and black just gets to run in. But also, like, did we really think that this stone could live? And if that's the case, just play something like this. There's no way. There's no way these stones live. Did black punish? So we played here. Right, that. Where'd black play? Black played here. Ugh. That's tough. White just put a move. White just put a stone on the board saying, no, these stones are absolutely not going to live. And so I don't think we can try to get them to live because I don't think they're going to. There's nowhere for these stones to go. There's just nowhere for these stones to go. I think this is a better shape move. We've got the panther shape, which is good. If black pushes, we can Hane, and then we've got the tiger's mouth. Attaching here, black can just jump out. And right now, all of a sudden, we're still fine. We're still probably fine. I still don't see how black's going to win, but we're giving black more opportunities than black needs. And black takes the cut. Big cut. Oh, I want to see how this goes. White plays here. Okay, so important concept here. So let me see what I would do as white. I mean, what I would have done as white is I would have protected this cut. This looks hard. This looks hard. Does this work? I don't think so. Maybe it does. Maybe this cut just works. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be a liberty race. It's going to be a liberty race. I don't know. This looks tough, guys. This looks tough. But either way. So for black here, when you have the option, so you're Haneing here, right? So the question is, are you going to Hane at A or are you going to Hane at B? In this situation, you've got the inside Hane and outside Hane, okay? And the inside Hane is inside your area, or your influence, and so that would be B. B. Well, let me put these in the opposite way. We've got A. A would be the inside Hane because it's kind of like on the inside of your area, and B is on the outside. Okay. If you don't know where to play, if you can't figure out between the two, play the inside Hane. The inside Hane is almost always safer, and the reason it's almost always safer is when they take the cut, it's near your strength, right? We've got all this strength over here, so this is a less damaging cut, okay? When you play this and they take the cut is near their strength. So now this cut is tougher to deal with, okay? And I don't know how I deal with this as black. Well, that's not true. We're going to do this and connect, and everything's going to be happy and good, and white's dead, and it's terrible. But so what did we do? We did this. Yeah, that's tough. We need to sacrifice this stone. We need to play this and give this stone up and be very happy to give that stone up in exchange for white's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stones. This is like a 25-point loss. It's big. But yeah, doing this lets white get more liberties, right? When we Atari cutting stones, the problem with Atari and cutting stones. So backing up a little bit, when we get in cross-cut fights, which is what this is right here, right? This is a cross-cut. First rule is don't Atari the cutting stone. And the reason is, when we Atari the cutting stone, now this stone extends. The stone has 1, 2, 3 liberties now. Worth noting, before you cut, the stone only had 2 liberties. So you're forcing white to get another liberty, and while you're doing it, you're setting up a cut for yourself. So now you have this cut you need to fix, and you gave white more liberties. And so things can get tricky, but this still doesn't look great for white. So white just gave the stones up, huh? Oh no. Oh no, it's black. Black, you got it. You can't take your foot off the gas here. You need to go in. You need to go and say no, white. You're dead in here. Because the issue with this, all this does is threaten these 3 stones, but these 3 stones aren't big. This is where we need to be focusing. If you let white get a move like this, white starts winning this liberty race, I think. Or, if white gets a move like this, and then this, I think white starts winning this liberty race. You don't have the time to do this, because now white gets to play a move like this, and these 5 stones are going to die, and this is all going to be alive. White, you need to give these stones up. These aren't as important as this. I think if you capture these 5 stones, this game's over. This is like just way too many points here. Yes, this is going to be a big corner. This is going to be a very big corner, but it's nowhere near as big as this territory. So we've got some misses going on here. Okay. Yeah. I think white is going to win this liberty race. And I think it all started with this Atari. I think if black had taken this Atari here, I think this was black's chance to win this fight. Would have it been enough to win the game? Tough to say. Let's see. What score estimator say? Black by 2.5. So this is a really close game. It's going to come down to end game, right? This is still anybody's game if black gets this. But once these exchanges get made and white plays here, pretty sure these stones are dead, and the score is saying white by 40. So yeah, it's obviously a huge swing. So tricky, right? Fights get tricky in the middle game here, but we did have the opportunity when white tanuki'd to play a move like this that I think really would have made life very difficult for white. But obviously, once we get past this, the game is over, and I don't think the game made it much farther than this, because black's going to end up running out of liberties, and that's really all there is to it. And this game is pretty much settled, but a very interesting game. A lot to go over in this one. If you guys have any questions with this game, let me know. Reach out to me. I'll be glad. I'll gladly go over them. Anyway, Brian, best of luck in the remainder of this tournament. Shadow Conservatory, glad to see you again. I hope things are going well since our bus ride. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave this one, guys. And I'll talk to you later. Have a good one, guys.